Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie.
Join us for unbuttoned and unedited conversations.
Welcome back to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome back Amanda Wong. Welcome, Amanda.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for having me. I was going to say welcome back.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah,
we're excited to have you.
Well, it's really fun to have you back, and so soon, actually. You know, the seasons happened pretty close together this time around. So thanks for coming back for season 12.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you are no longer May Sue.
I'm May Sue Hickam now.
May Sue Hickam.
You know, actually, in the second episode of my first episode back in season 12, funnily enough, Bill Avery, he actually says, "Oh, hi, May Sue," and I say, "It's May Hickam now," and it was just an ad lib that we ended up keeping into the
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Because it got us all right back there. It's like
exactly. You know, a little call to our marriage.
Right. Let's talk about that. I mean, your first episode back in for the season, which was the second episode, Mike and May come back from their honeymoon, and it's not all rosy and, sweet. So we get to see a very different side to them. How did you like playing that?
You know, I think that Ben and I were kind of discussing how we wanted to play it all, and we didn't want it to be kind of like grumpy people who are fighting all the time. We wanted there to be an underlying of like deep love and deeply wanting things to work out, but then just being caught up in frustration and just the situation that was dealt to us. And because the two of them are kind of like the silly kind of goofy characters, and so we wanted to keep that lightness and carefreeness, but the disaster of the apartment, not knowing whose fault it was, and then there's a little bit of the blame game, but it was really super fun to play. I think the writers have been starting to try to weave in some comedic moments for us, and the more physical comedy Ben and I can get, the more we love it, because it's so fun. Ben and I always look at each other at work and we're like, what a blessing to be able just to like crack up the cast and crew, and that's what we do at work. It's a joy, and so we want to do more of that stuff if possible.
Oh, so that's fun to know. You really like the comedy,
because
May originally was not. She was a lot more serious. Of course,
she
had a lot of
serious
things going on, which is why. But so you're enjoying this lighter side.
I mean, Amanda is enjoying the lighter side, but I think for May, she's more, I would say, probably more controlling, type A. And so I think the comedy comes from her just being incredibly frustrated with her husband, who is a lot more carefree than she is, or a little bit less organized, which I feel like is a very common kind of dynamic in relationships. Right. Often it could be one person's very organized and one person's not, and so May and Mike is no different from them. But yeah, I think it's a very interesting adjustment for May. She did come in very serious, and I think that the reason why she was so serious in the beginning is she was trying to put her best foot forward and keep everything composed, and there's just some people who just pull out the whack in you and just make you go crazy, and that is exactly Mike Hickam.
Yeah. So Mike and May's relationship timeline was very sweet, actually. They had a very sweet relationship, and their bumps were not very bumpy in their road. Yeah. And so do you think it was important to show a little reality in their relationship?
I think so, because in the beginning there was a lot of miscommunication, and I think that already foreshadowed the issues that Mike and May would encounter later on. There was all the dates that were missed, and thinking that you're stood up and feeling like you weren't super sure, and that there's kind of like that laden in the beginning. And then in season 11, there was a lot more like ease, like, okay, this relationship is something that we've both never experienced before, and there's a lot of security and surety there. But then even on the wedding day, Mike wasn't there, and she was panicking about it.
Mike?
Almost just keeping her on edge, I feel like. You know, he's stressing her out, really.
What is he up to now?
Exactly. She's incredibly stressed.
But
But
he also didn't share he was going to get her brothers.
I know, it's such a sweet
Secrets.
sentiment. Yeah. So I think that what May's learning is also to let go, especially since she is a more controlling type person who likes to know what's going on at all times. There's a lot of like release and allowing Mike to be late or not show up and things like that, and just trusting that he's there. And I think that, you know, over time that trust will strengthen, and the experiences with this whole disaster apartment thing has brought them probably closer in many ways. There's food poisoning involved, there's flooding, there are rats.
That's the perfect thing on you're like, let's break this
Honeymoon.
marriage in. Yeah.
Exactly. The gastritis on honeymoon.
Exactly. And I think also because their relationship happened quite quickly. I think all in all, it was like, it was 5 months in, we were having our first kiss, and then shortly after we were engaged to be married.
Yeah.
There's this like illusion of everything is rosy and everything is perfect. And it's the storied and fairy tale romance that they both probably thought that they were going to get into, but then all these things happen, almost like an avalanche, and it kind of shakes them to reality, but in a quite positive way, because it needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And and I think it the nice thing is they never questioned whether or not they should be together, even though there are all these problems.
Right.
And I think that that's something that I hope holds true for future episodes and seasons if we have them.
Yeah.
It really reinforced their commitment to each other, even when they were working through the issues.
Yes, exactly. Like unwavering love despite all the problems.
Right.
Right. And it allowed for some really tender moments, even with their friends. Like, you know, May and Faith had that really lovely conversation about it. And now also it's bringing you right back into the center at the cafe. You're living in the cafe. So now we get to see more because there's more people in that cafe.
Everyone's in the cafe.
Yeah, it was really funny. We were at one point when Fiona came back, we're like, are we all upstairs? That's a lot of us.
Faith and Lily too. And
like, where's Fiona sleeping?
Yeah, I'm like, what are they sleeping around?
Fiona is clearly upstairs. Yeah. She's clearly upstairs. Everyone is clearly upstairs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think between us, we're like, you must be at the hotel, right? There's no space for you. She's like, I have no idea. But I think that she might probably be at the hotel, because unless the scene was cut, there's a moment where Faith had said to Fiona, oh, by the way, when you weren't here, Lily took over your room. And she's like, oh, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was cut in the end, but that was. Yeah.
We didn't see that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that explains a lot. Yeah.
Hotel. That's where she's at.
Go find somewhere else. And May is essentially responsible for starting the dance craze in Hope Valley this season too. That was a fun part of the honeymoon that was brought back. You know, aside from the fighting, you brought the Charleston to Hope Valley. So
exactly, it wasn't all food poisoning and missed luggages and whatever all that entails.
Right.
There's a lot of dancing
all the time.
Yeah, we brought in the Charleston, and what's really funny is I think the script initially was saying that Mike wasn't super comfortable with it, but Ben Rosenbaum loves to dance. So we just made it that Mike also loves to dance, and I think it turned out really cute and sweet. And yeah, everyone is just so talented on that. I know the cast is so talented. Yeah, everyone is so excellent at the dance, and it was River who plays Wyatt, myself, and Jacob who plays what's his character's name?
Oliver.
Oliver, yes. I just blanked for a second. But the three of us, we were the ones who were supposed to, like, you know, Wyatt is supposed to know how to do the Charleston with the Hickams, and he just like, oh, look at that fun dance that you know, Wyatt's doing. And then Oliver brings everyone into it, and so he's like dancing and things too. And so the three of us are supposed to be kind of like the confident dancers, and we were the worst. We were
because the amount of musical theater in the rest of them is massive.
Yes, all of them have done musical theater, and all of them know how to do it, and the three of us were just, you know, practicing dancing together all the time. But it actually turned out, and my legs were sore for so long practicing the Charleston for like weeks. I think I had 2 weeks to practice it, and we had a choreographer that came down from LA to teach us how to do it, and yeah, it turned out all right. I thought the scene with Rosemary and Elizabeth was very cute.
Yes.
When we were dancing in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Very adorable. Yeah.
So adorable. Were you excited to see that scene in the script when you got your script?
I was so nervous to see it because I did not know how that was going to turn out, because that was the first day that we had to do any type of dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't mastered the hands and the feet at the same time. And so I was just sweating bullets just thinking about it. And I was very nervous. And it was Elise who was directing that episode. And she sent an AD to come up to me and was like, Amanda, are you free tomorrow for more dance lessons? And I was like, no! So I was really nervous to know what it would look like, because I was like, it must be terrible on camera. But then we did practice more, and I felt much more confident when we did the scene with Wyatt. But then Ben and I had a whole routine that we did, and it ended up on the chopping floor.
Yeah. We did this whole dance, and it was so fun, and then it was gone.
Yeah, we did a whole thing. It was cute.
We need somebody to post that whole dance. Like that needs to go up, honestly.
I know who would have it.
I think with Elizabeth and Rosemary and May is so cute in the barbershop, because they're like, gotta learn the dance right now. Ends up being adorable.
We got to watch that scene live with an entire audience.
Oh yes, you were at KC,
yes, and everybody was just so excited.
Oh, that's lovely. I love the slow motion. I feel like there are a lot of like cool editing tricks that they were doing in this season. Even like the one shot for the Gatsby party is kind of different and cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of great shots. The Charleston throughout the season. We haven't seen a lot of dancing lately. We're gonna get any more dancing this season?
Are we gonna get more? There is one that, if it didn't end up getting cut, should be coming up. That is very cute. I don't know what happened to it, and if you know what, actually,
we all have a few things that we're like, where is that?
There is a dance coming up.
Okay,
I'm trying to think. What occasion is that? I believe
Valley occasion.
Yeah, if it's not been cut out, it's coming up then, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have no idea. It's kind of hard to remember at what point we do what. Yeah, I just know that everyone was there and we're all doing a dance together.
Fun.
I don't know what occasion that was.
Well, I hope it did not get cut, because I think everybody would really love that.
Right. Yeah. I hope not too. That would be cute. Yeah.
So we have May has some beautiful scenes with Faith and Fiona that we've recently seen. It was really nice to watch the three gal pals be back together and really support each other through, Fiona's journey to follow her heart. Mm-hmm. How were those scenes to film? I mean, they just felt so real when you're watching.
I think they felt super real to all three of us as well, because the three of us are gal pals in real life as well, and we were also roommates, and we had a bunch of scenes together in season 10 and a little bit of 11, and it was just, I think even in 11 there was a lot of like genuine feels every time Fiona came back, because everything that we said felt real in a way, because we didn't know, like in real life, we don't know what's going on with Kayla, and if her career, which we're so excited about, is going to skyrocket and do amazing things. Yeah, and so when she sells the barbershop, there's a little sadness there too, because it's like, but then, I mean, she always has a home at Hope Valley, but then it's like it feels like almost like metaphoric in a way. Mm-hmm. And so every time we say like we want to hear all about everything, there's there's like so much truth there. We want the absolute best for her. We want her to chase her dreams and not worry about us, no matter how much we wish that she was here with us. So there was a lot of truth there. And even though the words are not exactly the same, the sentiment behind what we're saying are the same. And so, yeah, we're all genuinely happy and excited and sad and teary-eyed and all these different things. And when we saw her for the first time back in Hope Valley for the wedding, we all teared up in real life. We're like, we can't cry now. We can't start this cry fest. And when she was like next to me when Mike gave the ring, those reactions were so genuine too, because it was the first time we both saw the ring. And we're like, oh, look at this ring. And so, yeah, and she started tearing up and thing, and I was like, don't. We're all gonna start crying. But yeah, it was very genuine, and you know, she's not meant to just marry random guy in the photo that we don't know.
Oh my gosh. Right. We're all like, no, that is not following your heart.
Exactly.
Like the twinkle of the heart is not being called to sort of go with a guy that might be okay.
Exactly. And she also has such fire and passion, and she's always like a go-getter character that like for her just to kind of kick back and be a house, like be a wife.
The rich wife.
Right.
Yeah, a rich wife. It's not really super in line with what we think is best for her. But I think also the way that the storyline was written for May in relation to Fiona is that while we know that to be true, it's still her decision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so whatever she decided, it was like, so the reason why May was like, well, then congratulations. Yeah. It's because for May, it's very much, while we don't want that for you, it's ultimately your decision. And no matter what, we're going to be there for you, be in your corner. And so while it's not what we think is you chasing your dreams and like the promise that we want fulfilled for you, we'll do whatever to support you. And we will back your decision 100%.
But yeah, so it's a story that women really, I think, can relate to, and was a very emotional piece and feels right for this time.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, with friends, you're always going to be honest and try to be truthful, but also not try to tell them what they should be doing with their life. And so if they think this is the best, then we're going to encourage it, but we're going to obviously give our honest opinion. And there's also a lot of, when someone's made a decision, you don't want to poo-poo their choices, right? Or make them feel worse about something that they've already decided on or cannot be turned back or whatever. So in the scene in the barbershop, when the decision's done, while May has all these conflicting feelings and she's quite heartbroken about it, once it's done, you can't do anything about it. So there's only like, okay, well, it's done then. You know, life begins anew, and no matter what, we love and care for you, and we want the best for you, and we're going to be here for you, and you always have a home with us no matter what, even if the barbershop is no longer here.
Right. Well, speaking of the barbershop no longer being there, if Fiona has sold it, that also changes things for May.
Yes.
So maybe we'll get to see May in the pharmacy now.
Yeah. Right. I don't think I've been much in the pharmacy at all season. I think there's only the one scene with Faith and when we're talking about whose fault it was at the
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I agree.
Coming up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or what happens with the clay mask business? I don't know what will happen with that. Or, you know, if someone buys the barbershop, it could really change the dynamic of Hope Valley depending on who it is.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, if it's one of us, then that maybe it'll be more similar to what it's been. But what if an outsider does or something?
What if they change it into a different business?
Exactly. I mean, the pharmacy was a different business before.
Right.
It was just a shop. So
and now it's a pharmacy. So you just never know. So May and Mike had this fun storyline when Rosemary decides to do a play.
Yes.
So Rosemary is going to do The Importance of Being Earnest, which is a fun play that has some pretty big connections in that.
Yes.
Cast.
Yeah.
So and Mike really wants to be in it, and May is so supportive of his drive to be in this play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about how fun those scenes were.
Super fun. It was really fun to play. And I think that for me, I was like, do I want to be like, what role does May want to play? And I think May's role in this is just to be the supportive pillar of a support system for her husband. And so she's just like, I will run lines with you until the end of time. And that's why May knows all of his lines.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I love that she's with him at all the rehearsals. Like,
exactly.
I'm here. I'm your leader. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not auditioning or whatever, but she's there and she's invested. She doesn't need a big part in the play. She's actually quite nervous about the prospect of thousands of people being in attendance for it. So she's a little bit more hearkening to the choir performance and singing, so a little bit more shy and reserved when it comes to performances, unlike Mike, who's quite okay with that. But yeah, that storyline was really funny, that they all got sick and then they're all like listening on the radio while sick, and Bill wiped his snot on Mike. That was cute. But yeah.
But in the end, May learned all of Mike's lines.
Yes.
And she stepped right into the part. Like,
yes, she did not learn it on purpose. I think she knew all of his lines because he didn't know any of his lines.
And she's a perfectionist. I don't know where I know that, but I know that.
Yes.
Fits very well.
Yeah, because even when we were in the play rehearsals, Mike goes, everyone's looking at me, when it was, you don't have to memorize your lines. And so, yeah, and it's not even determined whether or not May had a part in the play initially, or if she was just there.
Just there, yeah.
She's just there supporting.
I always thought she was just there,
knowing she's got to prompt lines for Mike.
Exactly. She's just the understudy.
Yeah.
Well, and then sometimes the understudy is on.
Exactly. The funny thing is, everyone has a very strong and good British accent, except for me. I'm not. My British accent's not so good. It's okay, but it's not as good as obviously Natasha's.
I was going to say Natasha's that British accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe that's her normal voice.
Yes, that's right. She finally got to use her normal voice.
Right.
Exactly.
But what was really funny is because May didn't have any lines, in the play part that was seen. In between the scenes, Pascal and I were talking, and she's like, you should just do a British accent. I was like, I know, but you know what? I would be funny if I did a bad one on purpose. Like, everyone's really good. The butler's got one line and it's completely butchered. That would be so funny. And so then she was like, let's hear it. And so I think, I don't remember what the line I said was, like, door open. I don't know. I was like doing some sort of like weird, bad British accent in line with a thing. And then suddenly, when I had said this line, really, like, in between takes for funnies, just between me and Pascal, I don't know why, but the room was quiet in that one moment that I said that thing. And so everyone looked at me as I had bellowed this line in a bad accent, and we just all cracked up and we were like, let's put that in. And I was like, I don't know. Let's not. I don't think anyone wants to do that.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. Do you have any other funny stories about that? Ben told us about how the part when he was trying to when he got in, like he ad-libbed that. So do you have any good fun behind the scenes stories? Oh, well, the one you just told us was pretty
funny. No, that's better.
That one was a funny moment. And so then when we're ad-libbing and the congratulations and the hugs at the end, Pascal says to me, your accent is so good. And I don't think it's caught on thing. And we just genuinely laughed really hard. There's also there's a moment where there's something that happens in the next episode where we're in a group, and it was really, really late that day. And I think that because it was super late, some people were allowed to like go home, but then, the Siobhan, the director, was like, if anyone can stay, that'd be awesome. and Ben was in his trailer because he had Willoughby, so he had taken Willoughby for a walk, so he didn't get the note that people can leave if they wanted to, and so he was just sitting in his trailer this whole time being like, man, when are we gonna go home? And then so he comes to set, and then he was like a little bit flustered, being like, we could have gone home. And we're like, yeah, we could have if you wanted to. And he was like, I would have gone home. And so then it was Ben, myself, and Rothgar were standing around, and and I don't know. I think, when it gets really late and everyone gets a little bit loopy.
Yep.
So I don't know what the occasion or reason for this fit of laughter was, but we were keeled over laughing so hard because I think it was something about having to be really quiet, but then Rothgar started speaking in regular volume and then pretending that he couldn't hear, and then I genuinely thought he couldn't hear, so I repeated it in normal voice, and Ben just could not stop laughing because we doubled down on the joke, but then it's because I didn't understand that it was a joke at first, and so if it gets seen, I don't know if it will, there's like a part where we're genuinely like curled over laughing, tears in our eyes at this misunderstanding that isn't really as funny if it wasn't so late at night, but we're just in a loopy state, and
Yep.
I hope
keeled
that
over.
Yeah.
I hope so too. All those big scenes also end up way late at night.
Yeah.
All those huge scenes.
We'll look and see what shows up on our screens.
I think it would be in the next episode.
Okay. We'll be watching.
We'll be watching. So Lucas, there's a scene with Lucas and Edie in the cafe that Mike and May come in all flirty, and they forgot about the dinner service. So let's talk about that scene a little bit. And was it written that way? Did you add your own touch to it?
No, it wasn't actually written super flirty or anything. So it was, again, really late. And Ben was like, wouldn't it be so fun if we were eating ice cream? And Siobhan was like, no. And then I was like, hey, wouldn't it be so funny if I hopped on your back? And then Ben's like, no. And I don't know why, we were just like, yeah, but wouldn't it be so funny? And so it was because we were, I don't know, again, if we were tired or if we were in some sort of like humorous mood, but we started to ad-lib a bunch of things in the scene where so Ben would put down a napkin onto their laps, and then I would in suit put down napkins, and then Ben tucked it into Lucas's shirt, and then I tucked it into Edie's, and we were just like super flustered, and we're putting things down and moving things in front of them, and there was just so much chaos that was going on, and we were tripping over things, and it was a really funny thing that we started doing, and then we're like, wait a second, it's not about us, and so it was all cut.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, this is kind of a moment for them,
right?
So we're detracting a little too much by being too goofy,
too funny.
Yeah.
But there was a little lightheartedness to that scene, like they brought them all the pickles.
Yeah.
Right. Yesterday's bread.
Just give them. Yeah.
Yesterday's bread. Fresh. Yesterday.
Yeah. Fresh as of yesterday.
That's fun. It's even fun to know, everybody will go back and rewatch the episode, and to know that you all were having so much fun, creating that for us to watch it'll make it even more fun to watch.
Yeah. I like to watch through after we hear some of these things, and you're like, yeah, it's fun. And it's fun to hear you're having fun while you're shooting. So
no, absolutely. Ben lives to make the crew laugh. It's like his favorite thing. He'll make a joke, and then I'll look at him and be like, you loved that, didn't you? He's like, I live for it. He specifically likes making our audio operator laugh, and the camera camera operator laugh. Those are his main targets. He's like, those are my guys. I just want to make them laugh, but I'm happy. So he's always trying to crack people up. And for me, I'm always, making suggestions, and Ben like, they're like the craziest ones. I was like, dude, you keep asking to bring ice cream into the scene. I don't even want to eat this ice cream. He's like, I know, but, and then he'll to Siobhan, any opportunity, he's like, can we bring ice cream in? And she's like, no, Ben. And I was like, Ben, you got to stop. She's going to get mad at you.
I love Siobhan.
No ice cream for you.
Yeah, no ice cream.
It's like wrangling cats.
Yeah, and he was like, because then if I bring in the ice cream, then I can give it to them. And then Siobhan's like, no, why would you be giving it to Lucas and Edie on their date?
You'd be coming from the ice cream shot. You would have eaten it already.
Yeah. He's gonna try to weasel it in though. Yeah.
So when we finally get to see you guys bringing ice cream in at some point in time, like we'll be like, Ben won.
For sure. We're gonna keep trying. He's gonna keep trying for sure.
That's funny. Have you had a favorite scene in season 12 to film?
Favorite scene? Honestly, the dancing one is pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. The one with Wyatt where Ben and I are dancing is pretty fun too, which ended up getting cut, but that was still a lot of fun to film. One of our last scenes, if not the last scene in season 12, was a really fun one because we just cracked up at, again, the silliest things. I think it was I had said the word in a weird way, and in this scene I'm with Pascal, Aaron, Ben, and Kevin, and we just kept on saying that specific word in an odd way every single time, that I think that there was only one version of it that we could use.
As it should be.
Yeah, it would make no sense otherwise. Like if I was like, if the word was like lemons, it was like lemons, and then everyone would be like lemons, and then so we only had like one version where we said lemons properly. I don't know why
the one they had to use.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good thing
now we are all going to be watching for that scene.
Yeah. Good thing it was Peter though, because we weren't like out of time and he didn't get mad at us.
Good. Do you have a favorite wardrobe piece of May's?
Ooh. I really like this navy outfit that I don't know when I wear it. I think I wear it toward the end, but it's like a navy one with the white collar, and I wear it with a navy skirt. I really, really like it, but I'm like busting out of that shirt by the end of the season. I don't know. They feed us too well and when I say I'm busting out of it, I'm not exaggerating. I literally broke the buttons off of it on the very last day. And it was like as though I were the Hulk, where like, it was like one of those moments. It just like popped off, and then the button went flying, and that's the end of that shirt, I think.
Yeah, and that's the end of the season.
yeah. We're like, thank goodness we don't have a second of that shirt.
Oh, poor Barbara.
Sometimes we do, right? Have seconds of the wardrobe pieces, right?
We don't have a lot of seconds of the wardrobe pieces. I think the only person who has seconds is Andrea, because she's been pregnant 3 times.
3 pregnancies.
Yeah.
What a trooper. Okay, are there any characters you wish that May got to interact with more?
I think Amanda would love to interact with Kevin more. I think I find him so funny. Yeah. But I hardly ever get to interact with him, and I hardly ever get to interact with Eric Gao. But he's a really funny guy too. Who else do I want to interact more with? I really enjoyed season 9 interacting with Allie.
Yeah.
Which is Jada, but there's not a lot of opportunity for the two of them to spend that much time. So I would love to spend more time with Jada if that's a possibility. Maybe if she decides to work at I think she was working at the soda fountain.
A little bit. So there was a fight.
Yeah, her and Javen, they were working there for a little bit. But it would be really nice to interact with them more. And now that May and Mike sometimes takes over in the cafe if the Canfields are not there, I guess. I was also thinking about this too. I was like, did Elias Cooper, did he stay with us upstairs as well?
Right, there's that line about that, like he'll help with dinner
Why
service.
didn't Bill
Like,
take
well,
over? He still owns the cafe.
He does still own it.
Why didn't Bill do it?
No idea. I think they're trying to give May and Mike some more responsibilities in case in the future they need to have more.
Because running the saloon and a pharmacy is not enough.
Yeah.
Just gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
Two businesses is not enough.
No, exactly.
Let's
do everything in town.
Yeah.
Pharmacy and soda fountain.
Yeah.
And the whole saloon.
The salon at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not enough.
Yeah. Giving massages, doing hair and makeup.
All of it.
The masks.
Yeah. Exactly.
So in this whole season up to now, what has been your favorite scene of the whole season?
Yeah, it would be the dancing one. And dancing with Ben has been super fun. I really enjoyed the flooding scene. I know it looked like we were arguing, but Ben and I had a really fun time filming it. And there is what was really funny is he was doing so much of the heavy lifting, like metaphorically and literally, because he had to lift me and the rug.
Yeah.
And there was I remember saying to him, I was like, Ben, are you sweating? He's like, yeah, I've been working. And I was like, oh my, I totally haven't been. And I'm like, well, I'm cold because I haven't been doing anything.
You're sweating.
He's like, I've been sweating.
No need for a workout today.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe we can have like a Hickam renovation
business
series. Like let's watch them renovate this house.
Renovate this
whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I want more chaos and more love for them. I want things to not go well, but then also them very much love each other.
What better way than a renovation?
Than remodeling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, he's got this place and it's been flooded, but it's not been addressed.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, before we went into that space, I'm like, where do you live? He's like, I don't know. He's like, at first I thought I lived above the hotel. And we're like, you have an apartment? Do you have money?
He's got money, the oil business.
Yeah. He's like, I think I do. I'm a shareholder in this oil business. I got oil shares. And he's like, I also have 1 million jobs. I must make money. And I was like,
you gotta be saving it. Yeah.
Yeah. Running the whole saloon and the hotel and everything there. He's got money. Plus, he's just investing the oil money. It's just, making money for him.
Exactly. We're actually rich.
You're rich. You're actually rich.
So somebody else is renovating.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you just fall into the mystery of so many people in Hope Valley. Where do they live? That's the question.
Nowhere. We all live nowhere.
I mean, I mean, Henry has been there since day one, season one. Where does Henry live? So
he lives in his office. That's actually where we filmed the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was Gowan's.
Where Henry's, where the oil office was. Because he was originally in the judge's office when he was super mean Henry.
Super mean Henry. Yeah. Who I miss. How would you, Amanda, describe season 12 for May?
For May, I feel like it's been ends of the spectrum, because there's something that's coming up that's quite heavy and serious, and then there's also so much lightness, and then there's also like the arguing and stuff like that. So May is all over the place this season, but in a really great way. She's just able to experience a lot of life in season 12.
Yeah.
I
like that. I like the way you put that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah. What can you tease coming up for the end of the season?
Ooh. How do I describe it? It's well, there's going to be a lot of community. There's going to be communities going to come together in several different ways. We're going to come together quite literally for a meal. And we're also going to come together in support of another character. And you really see the through line and the vein of Hope Valley in these moments, because that is what Hope Valley is. It is community. It's everyone supporting each other, loving each other, and everyone is family. And I think that really comes through toward the end of the season, because we would do anything for any other member of our group.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a
teaser.
That's a good tease, you know, for
what is happening.
Right? That's a good tease. Love that.
Okay. Do you have like a little Easter egg that we can all watch for the Hickams for the last handful of episodes?
I'm wondering, do we have any Easter eggs that we can look forward to? I'm gonna have to think on that. I don't off the top of my head know, because we're toward the end now. We've only got 3 left. Yeah.
It's hard to give out Easter eggs because they give out things.
Exactly. It's tough.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. We can pass on it.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll see more dancing.
I hope so too. Yeah. There might be. If it didn't end up getting cut.
They are the dancing couple. They've got it. They lead the town in dancing. So.
Exactly. We are the dancers.
Right.
I love that they kind of brought it over from the honeymoon, the bad honeymoon, and it just turned into this big joyous thing.
I agree. I really like that Jada had a dancing party. That was so cute.
That was a fun party. That was a great choice.
Yeah.
That was a really fun choice, and really highlighted a lot of different people in a lot of different places, and really gave those older kids a big highlight too.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. Amanda, would you play a favorites game with us?
Sure.
Okay. Julie, you started off.
All right. Do you have a favorite movie?
I really like The Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
What are you currently watching? Are you binging a series?
Currently, I watched the first 2 seasons of Reacher, and I'm going to watch the 3rd.
Okay.
Soon.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have a hobby or something you do for fun when you're not working and are incredibly busy?
You know what? Actually, I started a new hobby.
What's your new hobby?
And I have not told anyone about this new hobby. Okay, I don't have the stick here, but I started spinning a stick.
Yes.
Okay. I know. It's very bizarre.
Is that what it's called, or is there like
it's called staff spinning?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, I twirl them, and then I twirl them on the side, and then I flip them, and then I flick it in my hand, and then yeah. So I've been doing that for a month now, and I had my 4th class yesterday.
How'd you get into it?
You know what? I train in Muay Thai with a private coach. Yeah. And he's a stunt actor, and he told me to check out this woman, Michelle, her classes, and staff spinning specifically. And she does like lightsaber. She does all these cool things. And I was like, this would be, and she does baton twirling. I was like, this could be really, really fun and cool. And if I get good enough, I can maybe ask Joy to put it in somehow if there's an intruder or something, and I spin a broomstick or something. Right. I don't know.
Is it a bow staff? Is it as long as a bow staff?
Yeah, it's maybe this long.
Okay, so a little shorter than a bow staff for you would be. But probably similar moves to doing bow staff.
All right, we're going to need like some footage on Instagram one of these days.
Well, when I get better, I'll post it.
Cool.
I'm still slow at the moment.
We'll queue up. Let's get down to business and from Mulan and
exactly.
Defeat the Huns, and we'll bust out the bow staffs.
yeah, perfect. You know what's actually funny about that? One time, I think it was in season 9 or 10, I was practicing another skill I was trying. It was nunchucks.
Yeah. Oh.
As one does. Right?
I'm not going to say that we can all do these things at our house, but
okay, and I cannot. I've discovered I can't. It's hard, and these tools are impaling. They hurt a lot, and so I was
Nerf nunchucks, so you can learn with Nerf ones.
I don't know what the difference between that one is and the regular one is.
They're Nerf. It's like Nerf darts. They're soft, so you don't get hurt.
I usually have those in my pocket. I don't today.
What? Nerf darts, but they make Nerf nunchucks, so they're covered in foam or squishy material. So when you whack yourself in the elbow, you don't go through the rough.
Okay, well, you know what? Rothgar should have told me, because here I am outside of my trailer practicing this thing, whacking myself. And I didn't think it was a noisy endeavor, but apparently it was, because he comes out of his trailer and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm holding the nunchucks. And I'm like, "I'm practicing." He goes, "Let's see." And then I do it. He's like, "Wow, you're not good." And I was like, "I know. I just started, Rothgar." And then he goes, "Give them to me."
And then
he just starts doing them. And I was like, how? Like, he was like, I grew up on Bruce Lee. And I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I never touched them again.
He's probably like me. He has nunchucks and bow staffs at his house.
Probably. Are you good at it, Julie?
Not as my one son was competed and did a lot. So
nice.
He was the bow staff king. So sparkly green.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great.
And his routine was, he did a whole routine to Milan. Let's get down to business.
Yeah. You have to. That's the song.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was clearly the right song, the right choice.
Yeah.
That's super fun. Okay, that was a hobby.
And what are you listening to lately, Amanda?
Lately, I've been listening to a friend of mine just came out with a song, so I've been listening to that. It's called Cry Club. But also I'm going to a concert on Thursday, so I've been listening to the Pink Sweats. That's the guy who's singing, and I'm going with my sister-in-law and my cousin. I'm very excited about that, and I don't know all the songs, and so I've been listening to it so that I can sing along on the day.
Yeah. Right. There's nothing more fun than singing along at a live concert.
Exactly. I agree.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun. Do you have anything else in the works that we can watch for?
It's been a little quiet in the industry, so nothing super interesting. However, when I did Tracker, funnily enough, it was the same week as The Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh, really?
The day that we filmed the performance, I suppose, was the same. So that morning, I went from Tracker at 6 a.m. until noon, and then I went to When Calls at 12:30 to film that episode. Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane.
But isn't that cool how fast that turns around?
Yes.
That turns around fast.
Right.
So
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Very quick. Very quick.
Very fast. Okay. Well, Amanda, this has been really fun. Thank you for joining us and talking about season 12. And thank you for having me for watching. Yes.
Yeah.
All the time. Hopefully next season.
Absolutely. Whenever.
Yes.
Right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.